Hello guys. In today's video we are going to discuss about top 3 decks of Season 18 Clash Royale Global Tournament. So here we go. Sparky Mother Witch deck. This Goblin Giant Sparky with Mother Witch deck may look heavy but has an average elixir cost of 3.8. Deck cards, Mother Witch, are answer to swarms such as goblins, skeleton army, graveyard and bats. Zap. This versatile spell card justifies its place as both defensive and offensive. Rage. Why is it rage here when there are no barbarians? You know why. Bats. Bats got buffed this season and we will be using them as witty defense and support for the tanks. Dark Prince. Our friend is a ground attacking splash card and a mini tank with his shield. Very good support in the push. Goblin Giant. The big green guy is our main tank in the deck and also one of the win conditions. Sparky. Goblin Giant is there for Sparky. Sparky is our electrifying win condition. Hunter, the main air defense to stop balloons locking on our tower in the Sparky Mother Witch deck. Bats won't do everything. Deck strategy opening. We are under no pressure to start the game with the first move. We have heavy cards with us which are not the good play to put on the arena first. We can go with the bats and cycle. Dark Prince at the back of the King Tower. These are two safe bets. If your opponent makes the first move, then you will place Dark Prince or Mother Witch as the defense at the back. If they try to push all in with supports etc., then Sparky will be a counter to tanks like giants. Zap can also be used to take out swarms such as bats. With this, you will defend your tower and end up with a counter push with Dark Prince, Mother Witch and Sparky. If the case is that the opponent doesn't push, you are relaxed with one troop on the arena. If you placed Sparky, you will try to place Goblin Giant ahead of it. This is our basic push strategy for this Mother Witch deck. If you are not up on elixir for Goblin Giant, don't overcommit with bats or Mother Witch. It won't make the cut. Counter pushing. You successfully defended using any one card in the Mother Witch deck. And now it is time to counter push nastily onto the opponent's tower. You can put the Dark Prince and Hunter, Mother Witch to push if you don't have elixir for Sparky and Goblin Giant. Sending Sparky alone is not a good idea. It will be taken out and we will have to deal with a counter push which can give a hard time. You will begin the push with the Sparky or the Goblin Giant at the back and the Sparky behind the Goblin Giant. And when they have crossed the bridge, place anyone's support according to the opponent's defense. Be it Dark Prince or bats or Mother Witch. And then at last, rage. Rage everything. This nasty won't be stopped using buildings or wizards. You will get a lot of damage or perhaps a tower. Endgame, if you got one crown. The game is on your side and you have to defend now. Also, you can build another push if not taken out the tower already. In this Mother Witch deck, Sparky can also be used as a defense for tanks like P.E.K.K.A. Pair it with bats to take them out and counter push. Repeat the push cycle to take the enemy princess tower. Tips: do not bridge spam Sparky or Goblin Giant. Lure the enemy troops by placing the Goblin Giant in the middle and it walks away to the other lane. Use Sparky as a defense with it being alive after the fight. This Sparky Mother Witch deck doesn't allow overcommitting. Minor Wall Breakers Fast Cycle Deck. Deck Overview. Minor, with the not so recent tower damage nerf. Minor is no longer considered a dependable win condition, however he performs the role of a mini tank. Wall Breakers. Wall Breakers are the main win condition of this deck. For 2 elixir, they deal a huge amount of damage, taking out around 25% HP of a princess tower. Knight. Knight is an underrated card among most casual players as they don't recognize his value. For 3 elixir, he has excellent HP and DPS, making him one of the strongest cards in the game if you consider the value he provides. Hunter. Hunter is an extremely versatile and strong card in the meta right now. He can act as a splash unit as well as a tank killer, and can also hit both ground as well as air troops, thus performing a lot of roles. Spear Goblins. Spear Goblins provide the ability to cycle quickly as well as more defense against air troops. You can use them to chip the enemy towers throughout the match, or even couple with a miner to form a cheap threatening push. The log. Not much to say about this card. Great for taking out ground swarms, dealing chip damage and great knockback. Fireball. Many people run Earthquake in this deck, but I feel like Fireball with its ability to hit air troops and knockback provides a lot more versatility. Although it does make the deck slightly more expensive and less crown tower damage. Bomb Tower. Bomb Tower is turnkey defensive building which can take care of ground attacks very effectively. since it cannot attack air. It can be a tank the air troops hits while the hunter and spear goblins take care of them. And if it dies, its death bomb also cleans everything easily. Useful tips, as with all minor decks. Try to switch up his position always and play mind tricks on your opponent. But beware of tornado. Place wall breakers on the outer edge of the bridge instead of directly in front. Similar to how you would place stab goblins. This will result in them reaching the tower quicker as the wall breaker in the front will be pushed by the one behind it. Instead of just using miner plus wall breakers, always switch up your pushes by using miner plus spear goblins and knight plus wall breakers. The latter works very well as the wall breakers can push the knight, making him move faster, and if they have a connection, their splash damage can clear out enemy defenses so that your knight can freely attack the tower. You can also try this with Hunter as well. Hunter will be close to tower after being pushed by the wall breakers, from where he will be able to deal tons of damage. This, however, a cheesy push and not a dependable offensive tactic.
But if you catch opponent off guard, then it's devastating.
If the opponent places the same troop at the same position every time on defense, you can use a predictive log or fireball to kill the troops or at least knock them back so that your wall breakers can connect. This works with miner as well, especially in sudden death when you need that last small chunk of damage, wherein you send your miner followed by a pre-fireball. The fireball can first deal damage and lower the HP while also killing, knocking back any troops the opponent places to catch the miner so that he can finish off the remaining HP of the tower. Giant Skeleton Mother Witch Deck. This Giant Skeleton Mother Witch deck has an average elixir cost of 4.3. It is higher than 4, which means it is a heavy deck. Decks lesser than 4 average are fast and can be cycled. Deck cards. Mother Witch, our main defense card, especially for swarms and multiple tiny troops. Also, support for the tank. Skeleton Barrel, the low elixir offensive card to bring out the spells and build pressure. Clone. A clone spell can create fragile but strong copies of multiple troops in a medium-sized radius at once for a low cost of 3 elixir. Flying Machine, our flying support for the giant skeleton to keep the push alive. Barbarians, another defensive card to stop tanks and other big enemies. Not to be wasted. Giant Skeleton, the highest elixir card and our win condition. Cannon Cart, very good defense and counter push troop. Hunter, our main air defense for balloons and dragons. Deck strategy. Opening. This Clash Royale deck is not the one which allows you to do anything like the first move. If you have Skeleton Barrel in the opening hand, let it swiftly go to their Princess Tower and defend. It will reveal their log or zap or other spells. It may also be countered by a gang of goblins. So use your Hunter as the defense in that case. Depending upon their card, you will use the Cannon Cart or the Barbarians as a defense. For instance, if they place a Mega Knight for the skeletons from the barrel and think that they can early destroy you with a large push, then use the other defenses. If the opponent makes the first move, defend it with some card which has a counter push potential. For instance, if they send a Skeleton Barrel or Goblin Barrel, use the Barbarians. Never use the Mother Witch to lone defend anything. She can't counter push on her own. Pushing. After defending the attack, it's time to push with all our might. You have defended with Hunter or Barbarians, and if the elixir bar is going to be full, then place your Skeleton Barrel and Flying Machine as the support for the push. Let them go and see what your opponent uses for defense. At this point, you will use the Clone spell. The Clone spell should cover all the units in our push. The right moment to use the Clone. This will make a nasty mess in the opponent's arena with the Skeleton Barrels bursting and the Flying Machines taking out the defenses. Do not overcommit after this step and just wait for the dust to settle. You will need elixir to defend the counter push now. You can also place the Mother Witch instead of the Flying Machine. It depends on what defense the enemy uses. If they use goblins or bats, Mother Witch deck rules. She will turn them into hogs, and you know what hogs. Barbarians, Skeleton Barrel and their clones mean. A tower down. Quick tips. Defend. Build a nasty push with Giant Skeleton, Barbarians plus Flying Machine, Mother Witch and Skeleton Barrel. Clone it at the right time. This is the summary in 2 sentences. Do not bridge spam anything. Do not use clone on a single troop or just the Skeleton Barrel. It will be wasted, and also clone will be out of the cycle when you push. Dumb way to lose the game. You are full on elixir and you place Giant Skeleton and Flying Machine together at the bridge. You will be crying against the counter push. Start with a defense or put the tanks at the back. That's all for today's video. I hope you get some red crowns using any of these decks. Stay tuned with us for more videos and updates on Clash Royale.